Hey guys, what's up? So recently I had to buy a new phone because my old phone, which was an iPhone 4S, stopped working. I couldn't charge it anymore, and it was really sad to let go of this device. I've been using it for so many years. But I basically wanted to wait until the new iPhone comes out in September or October, whenever that will be. So I needed a phone that just covers me for 2 to 3 months. So I went into my local phone store and I said, look, I need a phone that's cheap and that maybe does email and stuff. And they recommended me this Samsung Galaxy Young 2. Well, actually, in fact, they didn't really recommend it. I just looked at their wall of phones and I was quite surprised because this costs £50. A really cheap Nokia brick that everyone knows costs about 30 or 35 pounds. So you get this for 50 bucks, and I was quite surprised and quite happy that you can actually get a more or less fully functional smartphone for that amount of money. So I got it, and I just wanted to make this video to share my experience with this phone, give you guys an impression. So when you open the package of the Galaxy Young 2, you get your phone, obviously. It's obviously already running, charged and used it for a while. This is not really an authentic unboxing. You do get a bit of a manual with it that sits underneath. You don't get any headphones. All you get is like a charger, and it is a quite unusual charger. Let me quickly bring in the cable so you guys can get an idea. Sorry, I just look for the cable. So check this out, yeah. So this is the charging cable. I think it's a quite extravagant one, and I've never ever had a phone that uses this charger. Oops, wrong way around. So let's chat this through, right? Generally, the first impression is that it is quite impressive. For 50 bucks, you get a fully functional phone. I think the screen resolution is rather small. Images don't look great, but I mean, what do you expect, right? It is only a 320 by 480 resolution, so the screen really is not that great. But again, for that cheap price, it actually is quite good. The camera is not great. It runs KitKat 4.4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, KitKat 4.4, which is not a bad operating system. It has a 1 gigahertz processor inside, which, to be honest, is not really enough to run apps. Like, once you run 1 or 2 apps at the same time, it just takes forever. I'm just opening 9gag here. You can see it loads a moment and everything just takes quite long to load. Oh, there you go. Sexy butt, yeah. That's how I roll. But you see, everything kind of just takes a while, and the scrolling is not particularly smooth. It lags, right? You can see I use my finger and then everything like just happens with a slight delay. So that part of it is not great. But the huge benefit of it is that it basically does anything that other smartphones do as well, like much more expensive smartphones. You know, it does Twitter, it does internet browsing, it does email, it does audio recording. You have access to the Google Play Store, so you can literally install any app that you want. I didn't dare to play on this device. I didn't try any games because I think probably it would be just like a really frustrating experience. But generally, besides, you know, things like the camera not being great, or the screen not really showing images like in a brilliant detail, it is a quite surprisingly good device. You can see if you just go through some of the functions: play movies and TV, radio, you know, it has a planner built in. You can use this Hey Google thing that you can speak to, and it works surprisingly well. Obviously, because it is a Samsung phone, it has all these pre-installed Samsung apps and stuff already on it when you get the device, and you can't really get rid of it. So I guess that is the good part, right? It has everything that a smartphone should have, and that for 50 bucks. That's quite impressive. I still think that is really, really good. However, and now we're looking at the shadow side of this device, it is really, really annoying to use because it clearly doesn't have enough power to power any of the apps that you want to use. It just lags. Anything you open takes a while. If you want to type in anything in the keyboard down here, you know, it just really, I maybe can demonstrate that to you guys. Let me just open the messages here. I hope I don't have any private messages here now, but let me open it. You see, like now I'm just trying to open a new message right here, and it just won't do it. Come on, man. Let me open a new message. What's up with you? No, now he's going to search function, and It just doesn't do it. Now he does it. No, he doesn't do it. He does something else. So I need to go back and click the button. And now I can open a new message. And you see, it's these little moments that unfortunately happen all the time. Now, I'm normally an iOS user. I use iPhones or Apple stuff, but I don't know if that's an Android thing. I have to admit that I've never used another phone, like maybe the Galaxy Note 3 or whatever. I heard that the Google Nexus devices are quite good. But it's these little interface things that just make your life a living nightmare. It's just really, really annoying. So let's write something. Hey, how is it going? Is it going? Yeah. So you can see, because the screen is relatively small, obviously the keyboard is relatively small, and that leads to a really, really annoying typing experience. After a while you learn that you don't have to hit the buttons on the center, you actually have to hit them slightly above, like on the top of the button, and that takes a while to get used to. It just really, really annoyed me. And like coming back to an iPhone, actually my company then gave me an Apple phone, and it is so refreshing to just come back to that. But you know, I'm pretty sure it's just on this device and not on all Android devices. So guys, I think generally, if you just want to get like a cheap phone for your kid or something like that, it's definitely worth considering this option. It's cheap, it works, it has its limitations, but I wouldn't say it's a bad phone. One thing that I noticed, however, is, and you can see it right here, look in this top corner here. You see that arrow? Oops, I don't know, I'm going to settings now. That little arrow up there. He is downloading stuff right now. If you bring down this menu, normally he shows you what he's downloading. You see updating Google Drive, yeah, down there. So what really sucks is he does that without asking, and also when you're on your mobile data, right? So when you're on 3G, he just updates stuff without asking. And that came to a point where I just had to switch off my data usage, because I didn't want him to you know, suck my data plan dry, and that I basically run out of data immediately, because he doesn't care. He just downloads stuff when he thinks he has to update something now. 3G or Wi-Fi, he doesn't care. And at least on iPhones, he asks you and he says, look, do you want to do that now, or do you not want to do this? Generally, the Wi-Fi works quite well. Just quickly going through the settings, you can connect through 2-3 walls. You know, I'm quite far away in my bedroom to my router, and I could still use it without a problem. Same as on my iPhone. The Bluetooth works. What I used it for a while was the tethering. Oops, I just switched flight mode on. I used it for the tethering. So I had my 3G plan on here, and I had to unlock my other phone in order to use it. So essentially I tethered my internet from this phone, and that worked surprisingly well. However, it sucks your battery dry really, really quickly. If you're tethering from this phone, generally when you have 3G on and Wi-Fi on, it takes half a day and the battery is gone, which is a shame, because in the shop on the package they promise like 6 hours of talking time or something along those lines, and it's definitely not that. Like, that is over promising like crazy. Anyway, if you just look at the outside appearance, I think it works quite well. Like, again, things like Google Maps work, you have everything you need, but just on the outside, you know, on the back, it does have this kind of, I don't know if you can see that here, kind of like a leathery feel. Obviously it is just a plastic casing, but it feels quite nice. And I personally, coming from the iPhone 4S, I'm quite a fan of like smaller devices. I'm not a big fan of huge phones. So I thought like the size in terms of ergonomics works quite well. Obviously then it has like the downsides of the little keyboard and stuff like that, which is solved much better on the similar sized iPhones, for instance. But I think, to be honest, guys, I'm going to format it and I'm going to sell it again now that I have another phone and I don't really need it anymore. I wouldn't really use it if I don't have to. It is not a very pleasant experience to use this phone, but it's at the same time not an absolute nightmare. And for the $50 that you invest into it, it's absolutely fine, and it is not a bad deal. So guys, again, as always, if you have any questions related to this device, then just feel free to ask that down in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to help out if I can. If it's just about specifications, then please go to the Samsung page, or on Amazon you can find all that there. But if you have any questions related to, you know, the functionality or anything that the specification page doesn't explain, then feel free to ask that down in the comment section below. This is my review of the Samsung Galaxy Young 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope it helped you a little bit just if you're considering to buy this device. Guys, leave me a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more. Take care, and I see you next time. I'm out. Bye.